Hi Gauri, hi Lavanya, Jafar.
Hello, Gauri.
So looks like it's already live streamed. Is it started, Prasad?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Change. Something got changed. That's why I'm just trying.
Streaming. That's why it says. I mean.
No, not yet. Wait a minute. See, finally, oh, it started already.
Yes.
Yeah, it is showing us live.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
See, earlier it used to be YouTube Studio. I have to go to YouTube Studio and then click Go Live. Okay. So I can pause it, stop.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you all for joining. So today is a tech meetup for the job seekers and networking. I have requested Wasabi from East Coast. She's in Virginia. She's also CEO and founder of Beats Tamil Radio. She was a recruiter in Amazon. Right now, she's working in S3 as a professional recruiter. She's going to share a lot of insights about job seeking, especially in the resume and interview standpoint. Also, we have KVN Prasad. He's a core volunteer and he's one of the president in SEEEDS, founder and currently Bay Area president for SEEEDS organization. So this organization is a non-profit who is helping the needy students in India. So he will share a lot of personality development, soft skills, and how to do the face the interviews, communication. That angle KVN Prasad will facilitate here. Thank you both for joining. Then Sampath Kumar, he is a senior executive director and he has 25 plus years of experience in IT. So he's going to talk about networking, how to do the job search kind of thing. He's right now joined from India. I appreciate he wakes up at 4:30 a.m. in the morning and joined to help the community here. Yeah, thank you, Sampath. And about myself, I'm Govind Gopal. So I'm based in San Ramon. I organize a lot of tech meetups and help needy people. So that's about us. So to start with, I'm going to introduce Prasad about his organization SEEEDS. We will go through that couple of minutes, how they are doing, what they are doing. After that, Wasabi will take over. Then Prasad, Sampath, and myself will continue. Thank you. And thank you all for joining. This is going to be just a networking session and a job seeking networking. Yeah. Thank you, Prasad. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you, Govind. Welcome all, everybody. And first of all, thanks, Govind, for taking the initiative and conducting such a session. This is really thoughtful and helpful for us. And so I'll just quickly give a quick intro. I'll just like take 2 to 3 minutes about SEEEDS. And then after that, we will get started. So SEEEDS is a service to educate, enrich, and empower a dream society. It's a non-profit organization that we started, and we are registered in 3 countries, US, UK, and India. We are 501c3 approved here in US, and in India also ATG approved, ATG and 12B approved. So our mission and goal is why we started is like to help below poverty line children, but creamy children. So there is a difference. There are a lot of organizations help below poverty line children, but we our goal is to pick the creamy children, creamy layer, like 85%, 90, 95% scoring students who cannot afford to study college. So that could be medicine, engineering, law, CA, anything, doesn't matter. So we identify such type of students and then provide the scholarship. So primarily, all our volunteers are based out in Tamil Nadu in India. That's why, but we are open to cater to any student in India other than Tamil Nadu. But the only key point is we need the volunteers that state to help. Okay, so that's what I just told how what is our criteria and all. So this is our members. So I'm one of the co-founder and I'm a co-founder and president. And we have Dr. Ramakrishnan in Virginia, Nivedita, she is from UK, Jay Kumar from Seattle, and others are in India. So this is our co-founders and the present board members. So our journey, we started in 2016 with one student, and then we progressed until last year we are 500, and this year we don't know. Currently the selections are going on, so we don't know how many numbers we have students will get selected. But one thing is we don't go by number of students that we want to select. Oh, this year we have to select 100 or 150 like that. We go with the money, the budget, what we have, and the needy children. So some year it could be 100, some year it could be 75, some years it will be 125. It doesn't matter. Based on, it depends mainly on the budget. That is the donations what we have. So so this is our distribution. Yeah. Whoever is okay. So this is our distribution, and then you can see we also support Sri Lankan refugee students who are living in the refugee camps. So we also support them, and then we give a special consideration quota for orphans or for physically challenged people. Okay, how to register? I mean, all the information you can find from our website, seeds.org, SEEEDS.org. Okay, and this is just fresh. Yesterday, we had the interview. So what we do is we send volunteers to their houses, to the students, to see whether they are really economically backward, and then whether is there a real need. Or after that, we invite the students to come to Chennai and then do another one face-to-face interviews, and then only we will select. Again, what we do is, say, for example, this girl, she's already graduate, she's doing CA, she's our student. We pair up our interviewer and with the students, so that we are developing our students to the next level, you know, for these volunteering organizations or volunteering opportunities. This is the short intro about SEEEDS. Thank you so much. If you need any more other information, you can reach out to me separately. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Prasad, for a nice presentation. And there are many from this group also wanted to volunteer and help SEEEDS organization. So we'll continue the journey. Now back to Wasabi. Wasabi Narayanan. She was the past Amazon recruiter, and she is going to share a lot of insights about job seekers.
Thank you, Govind. And I appreciate everyone who joined here and who are viewing this video. And I'm so happy to actually learn about SEEEDS. And it's like a very great initiative, and to educate the young India means a lot. And that too for the cause that they are like underprivileged, and like they do not have money, and education will take them to any level. So the power of education is really great. Like that's where we need to change India. And I'm happy the SEEEDS organization is doing a great job. And thanks for letting me talk to all the people who are interested in job seeking. And thank you, Govind, for inviting me here. And I would like to start across with my experiences. So these are all my personal experiences. And this is just my views that I can share out of my 7+ years of experience of recruiting, like in several different organizations, like in Wipro, Randstad, and then S3 and Amazon. And all these companies follow the same thing. be honest to yourself, be truthful to yourself. That's the only thing that everybody is looking for, and a great attitude. And that is the only thing that we need, because every team trains their own resources. Like every team is different, every project is different, and all the managers take the great initiatives to, groom their team and, have them close and then train them for at least 4+ weeks and then go from there. So what we all do need to understand, the first and foremost, is education. When it comes to education, we need to actually understand like we are educated, because a lot of times, like after a 6 years gap, 7 years gap, people reach out to me telling like, hey, I did my master's, but I don't remember a word. So that doesn't matter. So everybody who's educated, they do not know everything or they do not remember everything. So that's not what we are looking for. We're looking for sound communication skills and sound knowledge and understanding, and what you are going to do, like what you're going to change in the project. So that is what they're going to look for. So apart from, if you have all your mark sheets ready, you have your degree, and you have to have the trust and confidence that you are educated. So that's the first and foremost thing I would like to tell everybody who has joined here, and everybody who's like listening to this. And the number two things, like there are 2-3 things that I want to touch base on a resume preparation. So in resumes, I always want to mention, like if you I believe like everybody is going to try and work in US, so or in any other country like UK or wherever it is. So I do not have experience recruiting in other countries, but in US, please mention your visa details, like, if you're a H1 or if you're a EAD. So that's a very important component for all the recruiters that is to see at the first glance. And that you are, if you're willing to go to any other opportunities within US, please mention it on your resume. So that's the first thing that gives us the intention you're really looking out for a job and you're really interested in pursuing this opportunity. So that's the 2 things that always are being missed on your resume. And if you do have a resume gap, like, you have like 3+ years or 4 years of experience gap, or you have a break for some reason, it's totally acceptable. In US, like they do not stress that you have to have this skill. You should have this. Nothing is like very, very mandatory. So there are people who are working after 12. There are people who are working after degree. So not having a degree or having a gap is not a crime. And if you're having a 6 years break, 7 years break, it's okay. Just mention in your resume you are taking care of your child. For a woman or a man, in US, a man also can be an equal parent and a woman. So having said that, you can always mention the gaps and just mention like you had a break for your kids, or you had for some reason. So it just fills up the gap that you had. And during the gap, if you had any organization or if you had even volunteered anywhere, please do mention it in your resume. For example, I just volunteered somewhere in a Tamil Sangam, or I organize in some other non-profit organization. Please mention it in your resume. That will add value to your job seeking. So that it's not a very big deal to work in different places and do multiple things. We always encourage different dimensions of work, so that adds value to you. If you're doing a business, please mention it. If you're doing any other voluntary activities, please mention it. So everything which will definitely add value to it. So I do see a question which has popped up: under which section should we add about visa status? Add it on the top. Your location, you're willing to go anywhere, you are interested, you're open to job opportunities, you're open to contract work, you're open to full-time work or any kind of work. So just mention that you're available, you're interested to pursue opportunities, and please do mention your phone number. And your phone number should never be your India number. Like if you're trying to go to an India-based company, then it's okay. But if you're going to try to go to a US-based company, they will always check and verify your phone number. So they're going to give you a cold call. Like if you don't answer it, that means you are not a very trustworthy candidate. Like they'll call you multiple times, like 2-3 times. But if you're not going to pick any of those calls, they're not going to make sure that it's you. Please create a LinkedIn profile. Please add in all your networks, at least 50+ of your friends. Ask somebody to refer you. Ask somebody to just, share your feedback, your history. It may be 10 years old, but having those connections, having those like the colleges you went to, the the connections you have in your LinkedIn speaks much valuable things about you. But voluntary experience is not considered as an experience in US. Recruiters say it's not a full. So it's not a full-time experience. Only it matters is you have the ability to do different things. You have the ability to do multiple things together. You can take in a pressured environment. You can do multiple things, and you have done it successfully. And it can also level up your career. Maybe you are a developer. If you have these experiences, even you can say like, hey, I did manage these things. I did do this. I'm skilled. I am able to manage so many people. I have done so many things. So it can definitely add value to your resume. So please, first of all, have your contact details, and it should be a US number. You should be responsive. You should be attending calls. You should be picking when the recruiter calls. And yes, they will be sending you an email, but you are supposed to pick the call and answer to them. And definitely when you see a job description, the only thing you're going to see is the required skills. So go through all the required skills. See if it's there in your resume. You need to mention, see, sometimes you know Java, but maybe a small portion of Java is a mandatory thing, which you know, but you didn't put it in your resume. You have the knowledge of it. You have worked on it, but you might not have placed those details on your resume. So double check if everything is there on your resume, because the face, like your face is the index of your mind. Like whatever you put in your resume, that's your first thing that a hiring manager or a recruiter will see. And a recruiter all the time may not know all the skills. They do not need to know all the skills. So they handle multiple clients. So sometimes we do not know what is Spring Boot. We sometimes do not know what is the Java, and that's completely fine, because our role is not to know the skills, because the manager is going to do the initial round of interview, and they're going to call you for multiple rounds of interview. So we recruiters are just going to check your visa, which is the first stage. We're just going to see if you do have the skills, and sometimes they might bug you with asking all the skills again because they don't know the skills. So they're just going to ask you if you really know it. So be honest. If you know it, you just say you know it. If you don't know it, just say I don't know it. So they will teach you. So definitely there are teams, and everybody is willing to help, and that's how team grows. And you don't have to worry about saying you don't know certain things. Unless you know 75 to 80% of the required skills, you're good to go for that role. So what about the certifications? So certifications are always preferred. And if you have a certification, it's definitely valid. Check your, some certifications have an expiry date. So check in if you have all those required certifications that you need. And if you don't have, just take one, like from any organization. Like I can't say any special thing, but you can definitely go in and take any certifications which are required. And as I mentioned in the job description, all the required skills you kind of need to do. And sometimes bachelor's degree may be mandatory. In some JDs, even bachelor's degree is not mandatory. So nothing is stopping you from applying. Just apply for multiple positions. Nobody is saying like you should not apply for multiple positions together. You can definitely apply for 2 or more positions, or n number of positions. So I'm just like not recommending like more than just apply for hundreds and thousands. No. So every team is different. Every team has a unique recruiter ID. So if you're applying even for the same company, if there are 10 different software engineering roles, apply for like at least 8 of them, because there are 8 different projects in the company. So each one is viewed by a different set of hiring manager. So you can feel free to apply to any number of jobs in the same company or in the different company. Nobody is stopping you from applying to multiple places. And definitely, if you see a LinkedIn post, you will definitely see a recruiter is posting those job posts. So please verify, please double check, and then reach out to the recruiter directly. Like you see the recruiter's name there. Nobody is telling you not to reach out the recruiter. You have to take the ownership. You have to, sell yourself, and then talk to the recruiter with the same amount of confidence. And you just reach out like, I am available, I am interested, I am ready to take up this job. You need to tell to the recruiter that you are really interested and you are really trying to get a job, and you do love this company, you know this company, and you want to go in there. And you need to make sure you reach out to every recruiter and everybody you see on LinkedIn. Nobody is stopping you there. So for all this is the basis, your LinkedIn profile, and you need to create a beautiful profile for yourself. And everybody is definitely going to check your LinkedIn or your any social media. I mean, not every social media, but definitely LinkedIn, because it's one of the professional networking sites. So do make that ready if you don't have one. And the other thing that I wanted to go, do you have any questions in the meantime? Like I can go with this interactive session. If you do any questions, do drop a message in chat, or you can just speak out. There's no objection.
Wasabi, I think there is one question. They have asked where to put the visa status and voluntary work in the resume.
Yeah, voluntary work, you can put it wherever the gap you have over there. Like if you have done a voluntary, probably you would have done a voluntary work when you have not been associated with any company. So in that gaps, you can just fill in with your voluntary works. And then you can also say, see, some people work as a treasurer of a non-profit organization and handle bulk of amounts during that period. So you can mention that also, because in a lot of job requirements, they may say, like even for people who do not have gaps, like even for people who have been very experienced, like 15 plus years experience, 20 plus years experience. If you put in all these details, your profile will be picked for other roles which are even suitable for you, and they would be considered for the roles that you have handled so much money or so much like amounts. So you just put in whenever you did that, and be sure you have the dates in correct. Like, don't mess up like more than 30 days. So that will definitely be caught in the BGV. So just mention like, the exact number of dates. Like if you do remember somewhere in January, just make sure it's somewhere 30 days plus or minus. And it should not go beyond that. And if you do have any certifications during that time, you can please include that. If you do have any degrees that time, please include. So when I say degrees, past experiences, you please make sure you do have the mark sheets or your pay slips, all these details which will be asked in the BGBs when you are selected. And you have to.
Wasabi, that I think I'm just trying to remind you, the visa status, where to put?
Yeah, on the top.
On the top.
So on the top, H1 and EAD or whatever it is, H1, I'm willing to relocate with the contact details, and the location is mandatory. So all these things on the header, just include that. So when you see that, people will really know, okay, she has an EAD. So usually people who have EADs are picked easier because you don't have to go through the long process in the embassy. So more than H1s, EADs can get a job easily. And there are very many jobs which are very, very easy to get. Like you just need to know Excel, or you just need to do a little bit of office skills. So these roles are like called system analyst, data analyst, scrum masters, which requires only a certification and a good communication. And communication, when I say, you don't have to talk fluently. Nobody will in any company, they won't say like, your English is imperfect or you can't be understandable. You are who you are, and everybody respects you for who you are. So you don't have to worry about any broken English that you may have, but until and unless you're clear in expressing whatever you have to, you are definitely like, the sure shot. Be punctual, be on time, just show up on the interview. Don't cancel the interviews for any reason. Like if it's really an emergency, then it's okay. But otherwise, please do not cancel it. And then don't add anything fake to your resume. You are as you are. And many people do not have even the basic degree here. So when you do have that, it's a greatest asset for you. So you need to make sure you have confidence to make sure like you can do it. So that's the only thing that recruiters see. If you go and ask the recruiter, will they teach me? They don't know. We are just recruiters. We are not working in the team. So we don't know what the team is. So whichever team is it, they have a policy, like there is 4 weeks of like, growth time. Like, you do have that time and you can definitely learn and grow. And when you apply, they definitely know when you're coming back from the break, they won't put you in like a very fast paced project or like from the day 2 you start working, nothing like that. It's going to go in a relaxed manner. So you don't worry, have confidence in yourself, and just be honest with yourself, say the things you know, and just recollect, just brush up your skills and then apply. And that's it. Like I saw there were a few other questions which popped up.
They were just asking about where to put the voluntary experience and all. So I
Yeah,
was
that
just
I think
replying.
I've
I
answered
just
it.
replying to that.
Professional experience will only be full-time experience. Apart from full-time experience, we need to mention volunteering. So I'm not saying you have to mention a voluntary work. If you have any experience like that, don't feel shy to express it. If you're running an organization, for example, if you're selling saris, or you're doing some catering job, if you're doing any other business, if you're doing a jewelry business, do mention it. That is an entrepreneur skill. Do mention it. You talk about it. Don't shy off and don't just say that I don't know. You are living in a country where people can do multiple things and you are able to do different things. So if you do have an business experience, mention it.
Yeah, go ahead. I muted it.
Yeah. So those are the things like they are looking for. And when you do run something legal, and when you do somewhere like a voluntary work, just mention it. That's it. It's not a mandatory, but if you do have something like that, you can mention it. Otherwise, you can definitely say even you were in a career break because of your kids or whatever, and then they are going to understand that like nobody has to do everything all the time. Like it's your life. You can have your break whenever you want, and nobody's stopping you from doing that. You're just going to have your skills, and your education is your asset for your lifetime, right? And yeah, so that's what it is. So yep. So what is the other question? Have I answered every question?
Yeah, I think so.
You can feel free to talk if anybody has any questions or anything.
Yeah, yeah. So somebody joined in YouTube watching. You can post the questions there also.
Okay.
We can take it up. So any other questions you can post in the chat window, or you can ask now. Anybody wants to be unmuted, let us know. So this is specific Q&A to Wasabi, but we will have a Q&A after each presentation, and towards the end also we'll have a session. So yeah, and Wasabi, if you don't mind, you can share your email ID or information.
Yeah, just go to LinkedIn and search my name, Wasabi Narayanan. I will be there for sure.
Okay, that's
somewhat
good.
Similar face for sure. So yeah, it was so nice seeing so many people, and I'm glad like so many people are looking out for job opportunities. And I do understand like the market is kindly a little bit stagnant now, but then I'm hoping things would be better, and it's going to be definitely great. But in the meantime, we have to utilize our time and do some things which are very productive. And definitely we are going to come as budding superstars. So there's no doubt about it. So if you do have experience gap or anything, don't worry at all. So you are definitely going to rock it, and keep trying. So once you get an email about rejection, don't worry at all, because some roles are created for already candidates who are already been there in system and who are already selected. So don't worry about that. So just don't see like 2 rejection emails and then just don't get upset, because that's the way it is. Like we have a platform, and then if one person is selected, the other 9 get rejected, 9 or 10. So it's not that we have seen it and we have disqualified you. It's just like the application works that way, that it sends a message to everybody who had applied there. So don't get dejected or get worried. Just like have a good resume and reach out to the recruiter who has posted that job, whoever is comfortable with you, like whoever is responding to you. Most of the recruiters do respond. So, but the role should be active. So the recruiter knows which roles are the active ones, which roles are just created for a candidate who is prior selected. So if a recruiter does not respond, that doesn't mean she's never going to respond again. So if the role is still active and if they are definitely looking for, you make sure like to reach 1 or 2 times, give them some time, because there are like so many people already reaching out. So you can reach out to any person who's like, having that interaction with you and who is working on that role, right? What is the current trend in applying for jobs? I'm sorry, let's see. What is the current trend in applying for jobs, applying online directly or? Oh yeah, so this is a nice, interesting question. Thanks for asking me this. So I would definitely say like both ways work. So when I was working in Amazon, it was definitely a full-time role, and anyway, the company also kind of, screens every profile that is being applied for. So those roles, if you apply directly on a company, it's going to be a full-time job only. But if you're going to go to other agencies, a different set of agencies, it's going to be some other backups. So there are different pros and cons to both of it. But if you're going via agencies, the only point is there are so many jobs. Okay, there might be multiple clients who have their openings there. So maybe now the software is a little bit down, but maybe the healthcare is like great. So the recruiters in agencies know where the markets are booming and where it's not booming, because they have so many clients working with them. So definitely, but of course, you won't be paid so much like the full time, but they know where things are booming and everything. But you can definitely apply on site in a company site, or go into the recruiters with agencies and work with them. And LinkedIn is also a good place. Yes, it is. And referrals, yes. So the ATS works in a system where if you have referrals, you're going to get 1 point extra. And just assume it's a game. Okay, so now let's see, like 200 people are applying. How will your name pop up with the first 200? So if you say like you have a referral, you get 1 point extra. If you have applied for more than 10 jobs, your name will be picked further, because you have applied to so many times and you have the interest and you are keen to get into that organization. It shows that the number of times that you have applied to multiple roles. So if you are applying more than 10 times for a particular company, let's say you have applied 10 times, your name is going to be picked up further. So there are some ways like we pick. So definitely keep applying. That's what we say. And yes, referrals, if you have referrals, you just go with referrals. And if you don't have referrals, that's not a problem. Just keep applying and don't lose confidence. That's it. And yep, I see something else. Soft skills. So soft skills is nothing but you just talk. That's it. Talk with everybody. Be confident. Don't be shy. Don't like, shy off, like, you don't have that accent, you can't speak well. Don't have the hesitation. Just open up. Just talk whatever you know, and it's going to take you places for sure. And work environmental challenges. Yes, some places have remote. Some people they prefer remote, but some are very much on site now. And yes, it is a challenge. It's definitely a challenge, especially for women. Like, we need to manage kids, we need to cook, we need to clean, and then we have a lot of challenges. And definitely work environment is going to be definitely difficult. And you have to go on site and manage like people there. And if it's the first time you're going to have to gel with teams across, it's going to be difficult. But I think out of practice and experience, you're going to get that, so you don't have to worry. And networking, yes, networking is also one of the important factors. It's good to communicate, know people who you know, and you just get along. And I'm sure you all are going to be very successful. And I think I took a lot of time I'm so sorry for taking a lot of time. I know two other people are waiting, and I really appreciate you for all the wonderful questions you had asked. And it was so glad and amazing to meet everybody. And I really appreciate SEEDS organization. And I really wish you for all the future endeavors that you do. And I really appreciate wholeheartedly for all your efforts, and the education that you're giving means a lot to all these kids. And you have
for high school kids.
and yep. So you mean a lot to all these kids, and I definitely truly appreciate and thank you so much for inviting me here. And it was a pleasure being here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Wasabi. You have captured it very nicely, and definitely it is useful whether somebody is trying new or somebody is already experienced. So your tips for preparing the resume, branding, soft skills, those are very useful. And I really appreciate your time and effort for this meeting. Thank you. Thank you, Wasabi. And next, we will move on to our Prasad Ji. So yeah, Prasad. So Prasad is in Fremont. He has multiple talent. I know him as a SEEDS volunteer, especially like a founder, president here. And also he's an expert in astrology and public speaking. So I'm glad that I'm able to get him to this meeting, and hopefully next 20-30 minutes, he will rock, same as Wasabi. Thank you, Prasad.
Thank you, Govind. Thank you very much. Welcome all again. Let's straight to go into our presentation. Okay, hope you're seeing my screen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, right. So welcome all. Just a quick intro about myself. I'm Dr. Kevian Prasad. So I have more than 30 plus years experience in IT industry and program management. Currently, right now, I'm doing program management in a leading software company in Bay Area. Educationally, my highest degree is MBA Systems and Finance. I've been in US since 2001. So I'm also, this is my voluntary thing, other hand. I'm a co-founder and president of SEEDS. So currently we support more than 500 children in the SEEDS. And my hobby, like Govind said, astrology and Vastu and so many other things. I hold a PhD in astrology. And I've also authored a mini ebook called 30-Minute Interview Guide for Project Managers. So by going through, like I just wrote this work, somebody's traveling in a bus or train, right? Before going to the interview, then that person can just glance this book. Exactly in 30 minutes, all the important questions and on answers, how should be answered, will be covered in this book. That was my goal. So, and what is unique about me, right? So I have worked in both in India and US. In India, like more than 12 years, and US for last 22 years. And how I started as a clerk in Indian Railways, and then later became software engineer, and then I progressed thereafter. And I became a breadwinner at the age of 17 years because of family situation. And most importantly, I have seen 3 economic downturns or recessions or whatever we call, 2001, 2008, and 2022. So that is still continuing, but it started in 2022. And guess what? I have been impacted in all the 3 occasions. I'm the luckiest person to have impacted. So in 2001 and 2022, I lost job. And in 2008, there was a role change. Okay. And I worked in all types of organizations, right from government, public sector, private, MNC, you name it. I have worked in all the environments, all the types of organizations. Okay. So a lot of job searching tips Wasabi mentioned, and then people also asked. It could be repetitive because I was not sure, but I thought I'll just quickly cover them as well. So the first thing is you have to reach to your ex-colleagues, okay? They are the best advocates for us. They know us better because they have seen us, how we work in the environment, right? How we work at office, how we get things done at office, right? Our technical skills and all. So your first person to reach out is your ex-colleagues, okay? You reach out to them. And next is your family and friends, right? See here, I've prioritized here. Colleagues is the #1 people, not the family and friends. A lot of people try to reach to friends and family members for job opportunities, but according to me, they are only #2. #1 is your colleagues, okay? Then third is traditional approach, right? Searching jobs in job boards like LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Indeed, etc. You Dice, Monster, you name it. There are umpteen number of job boards are there. We should do apply there also directly. Like somebody was mentioning, should I go there and apply in a company websites and all? You should do, all right? And the other main important thing is you have to create job alerts in these websites. You select your profile, you choose whatever, the job you are trying to go for, right? Create the alerts, and then you have to set daily, weekly, like that. Weekly doesn't work. I mean, doesn't work in the sense, in the current situation, it has to be daily job alerts, right? So this is a must, okay? And guess what? Main thing is whenever we are applying directly to this job, hundreds of people are going to apply. So we have HR Wasabi here, right? She will be receiving hundreds of applications. Where is our application? According to me, our application should be in the top 10 or 20 applications, right? The moment the recruiter releases the job, on the first 10 or 10 applications only, our application should be there. Otherwise, there is a good chance that our application will not even be read. Okay, so keep this in mind. How to do it? That is a very big trick you have to do. But there is no other choice. We have to do. If we want to get a job in this situation, we have to do this. You have to find ways when the job is getting released and then apply it. There are like different times, like not that every job will be released instantly. So like LinkedIn, Dice, and all these people, right? They release job. They will be running a bad job or something. They will, at some point, they will release the jobs, right? Like morning, 6 o'clock, midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, like that. All right. So I keep eye on these boards and then keep refreshing my screen, and then I see what new job has been posted, and immediately I apply. Okay. In fact, last year, 2022, when I was looking, I got laid off, and then I was searching for jobs, and then I used to do this night, be awake in the midnight and then doing it. My wife asked, okay, you're back to applying the jobs. Yeah, I have to, right? If we have to support the family, we have to be alert on these job postings and then apply, right? After that, all our qualifications, everything will matter, right? Whether do we have all the required skills, preferred skills and all that. But first, at least the recruiter has to see our application. We have to make that. Then only they will know whether we have the skill or not, right? And don't underestimate these job boards. And let me tell you, on this occasions, I got job only through directly applying. Okay. Yeah, I did all this, reached out to previous colleagues, friends and family, referral, everything. But for me, what worked is only direct application. In fact, when I joined the job, the current employer, and there is a freeze after that. Then some person asked me, how did you join? Do you know anybody? Did somebody recommended you? Some VP gave a recommendation, and I said, no, I don't know anybody in this company. I just applied through the normal process and then got through the job. So let me tell you, I apply the job before the alert sends me. Hey, Prasad, this is based on your alert. These are all the jobs available, posted. Before I get that alert, I would have applied to those jobs. You have to be very, 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 very ahead in the system. Otherwise, it is going to be very, very difficult to get the job. Okay, so you have to be very, very proactive. Keep an eye all the time. And now we have all those devices, apps in our palm. It is even much more easy. In 2001, I have to sit in front of my computer only. But now you have the apps, you have your mobile phone is as good as a computer on those days, or even more powerful, right? So make use of that. So other question, what Govind was area he wanted to cover is tough interview questions, right? Tell me, what is tough interview question? Can somebody tell what is tough? You can chat, you can put your response in chat or unmute yourself and then speak. Everybody is silent. Okay. So in my opinion, what is tough means, that means we have not prepared for that question. That's all. They are not going to ask us, hey, how do you design a rocket? Or how are you going to swim underwater like 100 feet or 200 feet like that, right? They're not asking all those type of questions. They are going to ask some job-related question only, whatever our skills-related question only. The tough means, that means we are not prepared for that question, right? That is what I think. Let me give a simple example we all faced during our school days, right? Whenever the question paper exam comes, oh, question is very tough question paper. We get less marks, we'll say, oh, it was a very tough question paper, right? Very tough. What does it mean? It is basically we didn't prepare well. Some unexpected question has come. This happened to me. I mean, it would have happened to, it must have happened to everybody. I remember like during my 10th grade board exam, maths question paper, there was one question to draw a graph and nobody knew in the in my class, in that class. Everybody was looking at each other. Thing is, that question was exactly in the textbook as an example question. It just came, they didn't even change the numbers. For me, luckily, previous night, my father just asked me, and then he asked, did you prepare? I said, no. Then I just did it. The same question came, and then I wrote. But other people didn't do it. That's why they felt it is a tough question, right? In interviews, we do get this type of questions. Basically, right, there are thousands of questions an interviewer can ask, right? But answering is tough. We cannot be prepared, or we may prepare for some questions, but not everything, right? So we will let us see how to navigate that, right? So first is, whenever the moment the question is asked, you don't know what the answer or how to go, ask clarifying questions, related to that. Okay. So that is very, 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 very important in the process. So ask clarifying questions and then try to understand what the interviewer is trying to ask, right? The thing is, take time to think and then answer. You don't have to jump to the answer immediately the moment a question is asked. Take time, but don't take too long time, right? So this clarifying question should guide you to, right, what interviewer is trying to get out of you, right, in that situation. Okay. And then once you understood the question, right, you ask clarification, you understood the question, repeat the question in your own words so that, and confirm it with the interviewer that the question, what he or she has asked, is the same. Because the interviewer asked some question, you understood something, and then you answered something else, then it becomes, interviewer will think that you don't know the answer, right? So we want to avoid that situation. So repeat the question, make sure you both are on the same page. That is again, is part of a communication skill, feedback, right? It's part of a feedback session in a communication, cycle. So this is very important. You need to do that. So now you have understood the question, everything is correct, right? Then try to break the questions into parts, if possible. Okay. So then once you break the questions into parts, then answer the question in those parts, and then finally summarize, finally stitch everything together. Okay. Any questions here? If you do get tough question, how do we respond? Any recommendations? So that's what Senthil. So this is how he, ask clarifying question, right? The clarifying question will help you. And let me go to the next slide. Okay. And answer the question in a STAR method. So what is STAR method? The STAR method is situation, task, action, result. Situation is, what is the situation, right? Okay, somebody might ask, let's take, okay, very common question is people ask about failures, okay? And we don't know how to address that. People ask, tell me a situation where your project has failed, right? You could be a developer, you could be a QA, or you could be an engineering manager, or a program manager, project manager, it doesn't matter, right? Or a product manager, doesn't matter. They will ask, this is one standard question will come, right? Tell me about like a situation where project failed. So then you have to tell what happened, right? And they want to understand how you navigated or how you came out of that failures. Okay. So it could be a project, it could be a life situation also. You can tell that also, it doesn't matter, right? If it is a project, then it will be more relevant. If it could be life situation, you're assuming all your projects were successful, then it is not a good example, then you can give any of your life examples also. But whatever it is, convert your answer or answer it in the STAR method. Situation, what is the situation? What happened, right? And what was the task that needs to be done, right? What was the task and what action did you take to overcome that? And what is the result? In the result, please remember, you should always try to answer in a quantifying method. Put numbers. Please do not tell, okay, after this project, okay, we fixed it and then customer is happy. Okay, or we solved that problem. Not like that. Don't do that like that. You have to put some quantification, some number to it. Okay, say for example, you did a website went down, then we improved our website. So now our response time became 10 milliseconds or whatever it is, right? Say our sales increased by 20%, our customer satisfaction index increased from 5.0 to 6.1 or something like that. Some number, some quantification should be there. It cannot be qualitative. What is qualitative? Good, customer happy, excellent, all these words. So try to remove that. Answer in this fashion. One thing, after all that, you have not faced that situation, or you don't have anything, or you don't know how to answer that, right? You don't know that answer. Please accept it. Okay. And then don't try to cover up or don't try to give vague responses. Say that you have not encountered that such a situation. Okay, I did not get the opportunity to work on that technology or that type of environment. You can tell that, and then you tell how you can improve. If the same situation comes, I will try to learn or develop these skills and then work better. So people will be interested in learning, whether to see whether you are learning. Okay, are you open to learning? Okay. Senthil, are there any questions?
No, you answered it, Prasad. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Right. Any other questions related to the staff questions? Okay. So now I'll just give you during the interview, right? Your body language is very, 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 very important. Okay. So don't try to put your hands folded like this. I know especially most of us are from India, our culture, our hands go like this. And beyond culture, according to the body language, the moment you have a folded hands, that means you are in a defensive mode. Okay. So you don't want to let the interviewer know that you are in a defensive mode. Okay. So we need not be aggressive, but definitely not the defensive mode. So please don't do this consciously. The moment you realize it, put your hands down. Put your hands on the table. Okay, or just keep it down. It's fine. It's fine. But don't put this. Have this gesture. This is very, very important. Okay. And some of things it could be repetitive, right? Main thing is you have to be very confident and don't hesitate when you answer. Okay, that is very, very important. Then if you don't know the answer, just accept it, and then you will learn, right? Don't give vague answers. This is very important. A lot of people try to give vague answers. Don't do that. Let me tell you, right? Say we get like half an hour time or 45 minutes time, and then interviewer wants to cover many areas, right? And then one question he or she asks, and you don't know how to answer, you don't know the answer. Instead of providing vague answer and then taking up the time, accept it, you don't know the answer, then the interviewer can ask next question. Maybe you will score good marks in the next few questions. You don't know, right? It's not just one question is going to decide your fate. So by giving vague answers, you are killing the opportunity. Don't kill the opportunity. Okay, so don't waste that time. Okay. Then show interest in the job and the company. Your facial expressions matters a lot. Don't be dull and then don't, be smiling face, put a smiling face, put a confident look, answer in a very positive way, right? So that's why like you be, what to say, you should look fresh, right? Your expression should be very positive. That is very, very important. Okay. And then ask about the company and the job, etc. More details other than what is available in the websites or in the public domain, right? So that means you have to go through the company, about the company and about what they are doing, their press releases and things like that. And then you can ask more questions about the company and about the job. Okay. One thing is, do not ask the salary. You write in the negotiation during the interview time. They will ask, they will tell, they will open up what is the compensation you are expecting and things like that. And then don't ask about when will I know the result. They will tell when they will get back to you. Okay, so please don't do these things. And don't forget the small steps. Lot of people, we all want to take big leap steps, but we forget these small steps only are the secret of our success. You have to take the baby steps. You have to take the small steps. I emphasize this to everybody, not just the students, everybody, doesn't matter. Whatever it is, we have to make an improvement. You can do only in small steps. If you try to do for the big one, number one, like it needs more time and energy to do it. In the middle of the thing, you will lose focus or something, some other hurdle will come, and then you will, we won't be able to achieve it. The small steps, you are achieving the goal, the next step, the next goal will be small. If it is big, then that itself, oh, we have to climb so many steps, our motivation will be gone. Okay. How to contact me? This is my cell number, my email address, or Facebook. This is my Facebook page. You can message me over there. Okay. Thank you very much. Any questions?
So Prasad, when many of these registrants registering in our form, Google form, some of them or most of them want resume review or career guidance. So I know that SEEEDS is helping students for India.
Correct.
So I want to request you or ask you if there is anything our organization can do here for this kind of help. Or do we have?
Yeah, sure. Definitely we can do that. Please reach out, and then either I myself will do if I don't have bandwidth, or I can find somebody in your specific domain to review the resume and then provide feedback. Yeah, certainly we can help.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, we have Prasad's contact here, and you can reach out to me or Wasabi, one of us. Like if you need any help, please reach out to us. And if we don't have any question for Prasad, we can reach out Sampath. But Prasad will be in the session towards the end also. During the networking, you can ask questions. Yeah, thank you, Prasad, for your time and
thank
effort. You. Yeah, Sampath, he's the executive director. Formerly, the company was called DICES. So he has a rich PeopleSoft ERP experience, more than 20 years. And he played different role, IT manager, IT director, practice director, and right now he's the executive director level. So his input towards the job seekers and experienced folks will help. Sampath, all yours now.
Thank you, Govind. Thank you for setting up the sessions, the networking sessions. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Prasad, to know about your seed as well as the way you have shared your experience and other things. I mean, we also heard right from the recruiter's voice. So definitely, I hope everyone got benefit out of it. I'm going to share one slide, which is, it remembers all of us on the school days, the Venn diagram. More of you all know about the Venn diagram. What is the purpose of the Venn diagram as well? So it's more of how the relationship and commonality between this. And this session is more of a job seeking and other aspects. And what I'm going to touch upon is it will be crisscross pretty much in every aspects of it. Without one, the another one will not. It's going to complement each other. That's how it's going to be. Network is your net worth. So what you know is secondary nowadays. Whom you know is the primary. That is giving the entry point in pretty much in every aspects of it. So better start building our network, start building our relationship. So what I would suggest is, in fact, we used to maintain in account management in our earlier organization. There's something called RAG matrix for the relationship matrix, which is how far your relationship with your customer in terms of your friends and so what we used to do it, make certain kind of schedule where how is your relationship with your overall perspective. So maintain some mechanism to communicate with your friends and other things, so that you are in constant touch with them. So if so that obviously the thing is if you are in closer to them, then only they will remember. So otherwise it's not that they forgot you. Definitely it's out of sight, out of mind. So make sure that you constantly touch with them to create a network. So in order to do that, I mean, there are multiple forums. We all spoke about it, the social medias and networks and alumni. So the best and foremost we would suggest is, your own, friends from the school days to college days. That is going to be the trust and confidence is there with them. So they will also start referring to you. So make sure that you start building that, connecting with those folks and start attending, even Wasabi and Prasad was saying that they were part of, different associations and Tamil Sangams and so on and so forth. So make sure that you attend the events, not necessarily you are trying to connect with the people, to make sure that, you also, establish and you're socially responsible citizen, all of us. When you start thinking about the society and social aspects, automatically the other things will happen. In fact, Prasad was talking about give a smile. So smile is the shortest distance between two people in terms of how you create a connections. So all these things, how do we do that? There are two aspects to it. I mean, internally and externally. The internal aspects, obviously, we have to do a self-reflection. So the one who questions themselves or the one who alters their thoughts, obviously they will have an answer for themselves. So that is the best way to do a self-reflections and to look at it. So in terms of the job seeking, I would suggest you need to have an ask. What does that mean is, which is, attitude, skill, and knowledge. In order for us to have a confidence, definitely we need to have a knowledge. So the knowledge gives a power. So make sure that you have a knowledge, and the one, size will not fit for everybody. That's what the common, the way they say it. I would suggest you have to curtail and, design your resumes and focus and prepare yourself. In each and every position is different. The roles and responsibilities different, and make sure that you are very well prepared for that. Don't take it light or easy when you are going to discuss with someone. Be prepared so that, at least you can easily, manage the situations. Otherwise, it's going to be very, very difficult. I mean, as the STAR method he was talking about it. Absolutely, if somebody is asking the question, be on the dot and make sure that you don't talk on the air and be clear on what you're saying. In order for you to be conscious in what you're saying, you need to have a knowledge. In order to have a knowledge, obviously, you need to focus on what you are, doing. There is a saying, I mean, people say that horizontal exposure and vertical expertise. So make sure that, you have an exposure on those other aspects as well, so that you can, when somebody is talking, you can keep talking to those folks and then, understand what they are getting into that. So in terms of, confidence, in terms of knowledge and skill, see, people will say that attitude matters. Attitude determines your altitude, people will say about it. So we are all talking about it, body language and the way you communicate, the way you, talk about it. Have the great attitude in your mindset, have a positive attitude. So, how you think, that's how it becomes going to be. So what I would suggest is, this is, personal, my experience will say that I have a visualization techniques when you are getting into any aspects of it. That gives, in fact, in the childhood days, we used to think about it when before even going to our grandma's place or any other places, even we are sitting in the place, you enjoy that what you are going to do it. Something like that, you think on visualization perspectives, you are going to face an interview, so how it's going to be and how we are going to respond to it. Have a mock session within yourself. And especially the, the first timers, the lot of, anxieties and other things will be there in the mind. Talk to your friends and ask them to do an interview. And, not necessarily, the way you think it's right. So there should be some critics has to come, that will come from your close circles, and they will keep, pounding on you. This is the way that should be. So that can be a feedback session. So the feedback not only for about your job, the way you, talk about it, and the constant, let's say you are attending an interview and you can ask them the feedback, or, you follow up with your, recruiters, what happened to that, the timeline, time bound. They may say that within, 3 weeks or 4 weeks, we will be closing these positions. Persistence breaks the resistance. So beyond that, you can quickly on this. So what happens is quite a few times, because of the dynamics in the market, you need to upgrade in the skill set, what you are doing. So sometimes you have to relearn, sometimes you have to unlearn, sometimes, what up to date with what is happening in the industry. When you these are all the questions will be asked. So in order for that, you need to have some kind of something, we call it as USW, uniqueness, strength, and weakness. The one who understands your uniqueness, the one understands their own strength, their own weakness, absolutely we can come out of the situation, any situation for that matter, because you know what you are, you know what you are going to say, when you are going to say, and what is your strength, how you can play on those. So absolutely start reflecting on yourself, understand your USW. Absolutely, it will take you to the different places, different heights. So I would suggest you to spend time for yourself on a regular interval, so that you know what you are. And also the thing is, when you are talking to the people, your tone and your message has to give the confidence to the other side of the people. So what does that mean is, so there are people who say that there is a blabbering, talking and communicating, and connecting. So in order for you to connect with the people, somewhere you have to, the way in which you are presenting itself, it actually touch the feelings, not on the wrong side of it, it is on the right side of the feelings. So then they will start questioning themselves, what the person is saying, it makes sense on that. So that is how you need to start connecting when you are talking to the people or when you are communicating with the people. So it's a very, very important aspects. So when you connect with them, so automatically it stays with this. So, and obviously the important aspects of it, the experience, what they possess. So let's say they may ask the junior people, they may ask very senior people. The job depends on a different level of roles and responsibilities. Take your profile, curtail and modify your resume in such a way that it fits into the requirements, and ask yourself, if I'm going to interview this position, am I going to fit into this? First, you should be a self-critic to yourself, motivated to yourself. And once you're confident on what is the way you are, and just present to it. And also what I would suggest is, have a right way of the job, meaning they may say that I'm looking for 5 years of experience in Agile, and you may have 2 to 3 years of experience, or 2 years. So sorry, probably you can put forth very confident way of note to them. I will share some experience what my folks has been conveying this. There are, let's give an example of the driver. So let's say there is a driver who's driving the car for the last 20 years, and he takes the car from one street and parks on another street. He may have in his resume 20 years of experience, but let's assume that there is a driver who's driving for 8 to 10 hours every day for the last 1 or 2 years. Whom do you think will have more experience on the road? Definitely the guy who is driving for the last 2 years. He knows who is going to cut in front of them, who is going to honk on that, and absolutely he has a lot of clarity on how to take it forward. That is the kind of note you need to say, that not only the quantity, the quality of experience, what I mean is, not just one example, is the way in which you put forth in front of the interviewer. It's very, very important. And also, how do you take the interviewer on your side? It's a techniques, it's a method you need to follow. Otherwise, what happens is, some of the areas what you don't know, they will drag you on this, then you will be disappointed and you will be rejected. So what you know on that area, you need to drag your interviewer in such a way that they will be keep questioning you on the area where you are very comfortable. So for that, absolutely you have to put some practice on it. Practice only makes man perfect. Absolutely, that is how it is. So what I would suggest is, what is your strong areas? You cannot strong area something else, you can keep talking to them. Absolutely, but based on the job requirements, where your strength lies, and put effort on it, expand in detail, and so that the curiosity will be created to the interviewer. You'll be keep asking the question, the nitty-gritties about what you did, so that you spend more time on what what you have put forth, that the time also spent on this, and that it will create a lot of good impression to your interviewer. So some of these kind of things, I would suggest you to, on the job side of it, keep focusing on your network. In terms of what is happening in the industry, there is a saying, the survey also 78 to 80% internal referrals, and then through the network. See, even if someone vouch you and give the good confidence and trust on, I know this person, based on that easily they can refer. There are certain positions, even without even publishing it, it goes to the referrals and then they fulfill it. So make sure that you keep connecting with the people, keep see what is happening, and also not necessarily, let's say I'm comfortable and I don't need to look around. Please keep your ears and eyes open, so that what is happening in and around, there may be a great position is coming out, and suddenly it will be suitable and it may take you to the next level. So have that kind of thought process in terms of, open up, open your mindset, keep talking to the people. This way it is very, very important for this networking and job and communication. Communication, absolutely, as Wasi said, you don't need to have an accent. You don't need to have, absolutely, like UK kind of English or whatever the US style. As long as you are able to convey what you want to convey, you are able to understand, other person saying, and what you are conveying, the other person also understand. That's what matters a lot. And make sure that you are not blabbering, be straight to the point. So these kind of things is very important. So when you are communicating to the people, and you don't need to be a, in terms of huge dictionaries, synonyms, and then they need to keep referring to the dictionaries. You don't need to be it can be very simple and clear and crisp. That is what is very important for that. So this is pretty much I want to share. And people also say about it. Only extrovert can build the network. Not necessarily. That is a myth. Even introvert can do that. Absolutely, given a situations, and you need to put some extra effort to it. And make sure that you touch the feeling of the other individual. You're automatically connected to your network, and make sure that you care for others. Ultimately, you will be loved to it. They will be keep thinking about it. So have that social responsibilities. They will think about it. Yes, this person is not only thinking about himself, that thinks about others as well. So that gives the space for them to think about you. So this pretty much I want to share to all of us. Govind, with this I would like to end the note. If somebody has some questions or anything, I can answer to it.
Yeah. Thank you, Sampath. This was a really useful. Non-stop, you were doing like a thunder, pleasant thunder. It's really good. I think everybody must have enjoyed. So if anybody has question, please post it in the chat window. And I want to ask Sampath maybe one or two questions meanwhile. How do you face any challenging questions or tough interviews, Sampath? Like, have you come across any?
See, let us not bullshit to the interviewer, because as Wasabi and Prasad said, let's be clear. If you don't know, but give a positive way that you are a past learner. How you can quickly get into the system? For that, you need to have an horizontal exposure. You may not have a depth of the experience on the what they are asking the questions. You can say that, yes, I don't know the depth of it, but I have, easily I can overcome, or whatever it is. That kind of positive answer you have to give. That answer to that you don't know, but answer the next point is that you are the person to do it. You can do it. So that kind of, the positive attitude you need to put forth. And, if they feel that, yes, you are the person, then they will take it forward.
Okay. Yeah. One more question in terms of resume, right? Like, so when you get multiple resume of experienced people, what do you specifically look in the resume, and how do you filter if there is the same kind of experience? So this helps somebody when they prepare the resume or present it in the job applying.
Absolutely. In fact, I want to touch upon, I didn't go in depth of it. See, resume processing, resume, sourcing and selections, and then interviewing process itself is a long, process. Nowadays, pretty much, you all hear about AI and deep learning, machine learning. So quite a few tools have come up, to pick up this, not even, nowadays, recruiters are spending too much of time on, sourcing and selections. So make sure that, that's why I said you cannot have a resume, which one resume will fit into all the profile, your job requirements. So make sure that look at your profile, requirements, and tile your resume in such a way that all the keywords are matching, all the key, the requirements for the perspective, the resume is put in place. So that is the first step. Your resume will be sourced. Even forget about it. Next step, in order for your resume to be sourced, make sure that your resume is fit into the requirements and the responsibility what they're looking for. That's what I would suggest, Govind.
Yeah, thank you, Sampath. Anyone has any question? Post it in the chat window. We'll address it. And
I just want to share something. There were a lot of questions in the beginning in the chat about the gaps, right? People were concerned about it. Let me tell that when we were hiring for one QA position, one person, like the elderly person, he had a gap, like a 2 years gap. right? But still, we went ahead and then offered the job to him. So the gap is not a problem, at least in US, right? As long as, I mean, everybody has different life and different situations to handle. So that's not at all a problem at all. I thought I wanted to bring this to everybody's attention. Don't worry
Yeah,
about
and
the
I
gap.
had a 6 years break before I joined. So I had a gap too, like personal reasons, like
Yeah.
everybody has gaps. So it's correct.
Even in India, the people are encouraging now. So a lot of companies are hiring those who are having gaps. So absolutely, there is no issues as such.
And I also wanted to mention one thing when we were talking about networking. We also have to be very, very careful because there may be some scamsters also. So we should be very, very careful. And if they ask you any money in the process, do not give even a single like penny, like, you know, $1 or a rupee, whatever, from wherever you are. But do not give any account, any money. Nobody will collect any money at any point of time. Just wanted to say that once.
And other thing, like people were asking in the chat as well, the how to put the voluntary experience. Like you don't have any gaps at all, but you have some voluntary experience. How to put it, right? Say for example, my case. So what I do is I've just put it at the very bottom of my resume, community involvement, and then I have like co-founder and president of SEEEDS. Then what we are doing, just like in a one line of what the organization is doing. And people were asking, should we put the role? If you have a like a role in that organization, please do put it. It doesn't hurt, right? If you're just a volunteer, you can just say volunteer. It doesn't matter, right? If that is not going to fetch you a job, or that is not going to you getting rejected, but it will be like another feather in the cap. That's all. So whatever it is, then just mention it.
Somebody is asking about career transition. Definitely, you know, if you are going to be in the IT industry, you must transition from one skill set to one role to another role. It's inevitable. In order for you to do that, you know, always, you know, self-starter, self-motivator, and join the forum. Let's say you are going to be in .NET and moving into, you know, somewhere in full stack development. Join the forum and answer to the questions and start learning. You know, this is what you know, I personally did it. I switched to multiple skill set from over the last, you know, a couple of decades. So in order to do that, you need to join some forums, answer to the, you know, some of the questions, what they're asking, and you keep practicing it. As I said, you know, the quantity of experience, not necessarily, but whatever the past experience you can, with that, quickly transition to the new skill set and showcase that, yes, you are the man for it. Start practicing it. Practical questions, answer to it, and you know, start whatever you learned it in the previous you know, skill set. How do we, you know, incorporate in the new technologies and other things? Just practice it, which will help you to answer to the interview questions or even problem solving in the practical scenarios. So that's what I would suggest from my side.
Yeah, Chetna, just for your information, Sampath has transitioned from many roles. He was a technical client server developer. He was working in Power Builder and Sybase. We were working together about 20 years back. Then he chose to become a recruiter or IT, non-IT job. And then he became practice director when he moves back to India. So these were both US and India role. When he was here, he was a client server developer, IT developer. Then he moved to non-IT, and then he came back to IT. So yeah, he played different role. As he said, like I think it's based on your passion and involvement in those area, whatever you are going to move on to. I'm going to share some slide which also can help you for the career transition. So,
can I talk on the mic? Like?
Yeah, sure.
So I'm little worried on like I have 10 years of development experience, and I want to switch to product. So the transferable skills I have, maybe I can say for a PM role, it is around 50 to 60%, but another 40% I don't have. So what should I like? How should I present it to the new opportunities? Should I say I have I have 3+ years of product experience for certain products where I work. Though as I was an engineer, I have done product related responsibilities. So what would be the good idea? Presenting as 0 PM skills or just talking about 3+ years of PM skills, because I have 50 to 60% of PM related work.
Wasabi, you want to take up this or?
So yeah, Chetna, I was listening to the entire thing and I really appreciate you for asking this question. And I just want to let you know, like whatever skills you have, you definitely have, and you do not decide your eligibility yourself. You need to sell yourself and not like worry. Like you just say like, see, I can do it. I know this product. I've done this product and I also want to try and do this product and I will be the best at it. I have the learning curve. I do have a break, but then I can do it. So you are the person who's selling for yourself. So you might have even had some failures, or you might have seen like what the product you have done. So you can also give given tips of how you learned that product as well. See, I was doing project management, but then I also had a learning curve. I also saw what this product did, and I really loved that role. I also wanted to do this here, and I will be the best at it because I do know this. So you are the person who's going to sell yourself, and even if you have failed it multiple times, it doesn't matter. Your honesty speaks when you say where you have failed and what you have not done also. So it's not only talking about your success. It also talks like, see, for example, so now I'm just going to apply for some technical role. And let's say you studied only biology. So you can also say like, hey, I was only a biology student, but you know what? I learned all these things and I'm like super skilled at this and I am able to do this much better than a person who's technically capable. So you just have to say that you can do it and you should believe you can do it, right? That's the only thing. So to answer your question, yes, you can definitely try for product role as well, as long as you believe you can do it.
And Chaitra, one more thing, right? So now you want to become a product. Say, I heard you were in QA, correct? Or developer?
I was an engineer.
Developer. Developer, right? So what is the core skill needed for a product, right? Identify that, right? So I just tell everybody, right, the SWOT analysis, right? Strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat. That is what Sampath also said when he was talking about. So see for the roles, what is needed, the core skills, and see whether you have those skills. That is number one, right? And then you say you need 5 skills and then you have only 3, right? So then try to build the gap, that 2 more skills, right? And then again, this is where your certifications will help, right? When especially during transitions, the certifications help because we don't have the relevant experience in that role where we are transitioning to, right? That is why the certifications will help. You can do certified Scrum product owner, or there is a website product school. Oh, right. I forgot the full URL, but it is, you can Google it, product school. There are a lot of courses are there. You can do that. And then in your current role also, see where in your resume you can highlight, right, where as a think like a product manager, and then how you are solving the problems as a product manager, right? Once you start wearing that hat and then try to solve it like in 6 months, 3 months, then you will slowly understand the mindset of a product owner, product manager. The mindset is entirely different from a developer and the product manager, right? So you can do that and then slowly bridge the gap. And definitely you can do it. Then again, in the interview, your resume examples, people when asked, you prepare well, put the STAR method as a product manager and then solve it. How you solve those situations, issues, or overcome that issues using as a product manager skill, using the product manager skill, right? I mean, if you need any further guidance, I mean, you can contact me offline. I can help you with that. So by the way, like I've done all the roles in the IT industry, from a developer, everything, development, QA, project manager, development manager, program manager, product manager, everything I've done. So I'm more than happy to help.
So I also started off as a developer, but then I did not like it and I did not have any willingness to do for it because like I love talking. So I definitely switched my role to recruitment, but I do not have any masters of HR or anything like that. I have a master's on software engineering, but I am a recruiter for 7 years. So yeah, career transition can happen. And when you have the core skill, you can definitely go for it.
Yeah, Vasavi and Prasad, my biggest concern is if I say that, in the resume, should I say I have product management experience or should I just say that I'm an engineer who is trying to get into product management? The resume is like the employer to pick my resume, the resume should match, right? The possibilities I say I worked as a product manager, then only I get an opportunity to get interviewed at those companies. So it's kind of I'm at that stage. If I say I'm experienced, they expect a lot, which I didn't do complete product manager related task. I might have done 50 to 60%. So I'm a little confused on what I should write in my resume about my PM experience so that I get PM interview calls.
So, Chaitana, with the amount of time for this meeting, we can have it offline with Prasad or Wasabi. So, yeah, you can reach out to them. We have another 10 minutes to cover the agenda. So, yeah, definitely this question can be answered, one of them. Thank you. Any other quick question, generic question? If not, I will move on to ERP QA testing area. That can go another 10 minutes. And then after that, we can have a Q&A. All right. So let me share my screen. I'm Govind Gopal. So I do IT as well as financial solutions. I have 20 plus years of IT experience. This is about me. Right now, I'm focusing on this financial solution, estate planning. I am also a notary certified life insurance professional and the ERP consultant. So somebody asked me about, here the question about career transition. So I'm going to explain based on my experience so that can help in the specific question. So this is about me. Like I also do a lot of volunteering and connect with the people. I do this tech meetup and estate planning session, all those things in Bay Area, in person and online. And also throughout years, I do other financial services. Now I started with COBOL programming about 25 years back. After that, after COBOL, I moved on to client server, Power Builder Sybase. And after that, I was into ERP PeopleSoft. Now let's just quickly go through the job seekers opportunity in based on my experience, what are the different jobs we can do in IT. Then I will show about non-IT. So IT, if you look into IT, specifically, I'm focusing somebody who's entering into the market, entering into the job market, especially in IT. They don't have experience, or they had experience before, they have a huge gap and they're coming back, but they lost all the IT touch, like 10 years, 5 years, 7 years due to the family and other things, right? Visa situation, when they become H4, they cannot work. Once they become H4 EAD or green card, they can come back to the work, but whatever they work is totally changed. They just look at the cloud and all those DevOps, different big data. There are so many technology, where to enter, what to do. So based on my observation, easy to enter into IT field is the first area, IT QA jobs, especially manual testing, automation testing, performance testing. If somebody has some technical skill like programming experience, or if they can do some coding, troubleshooting, then they can get into the automation or performance testing. These two areas needs some technical skill. If somebody has non-IT background, even commerce degree or non-math degree or anything, non-computer science background, they can start with the manual testing. So for that, as Sampath and others said, like we can start with the certification. There are many certification like ISTQB certification, and there are different certification for different products are there. So that's one area people can start look into when they have EAD and they don't have any experience or they have a gap of experience. So that is one thing. Then I have ERP experience, like a PeopleSoft, Oracle. So what are the different areas somebody can look into? Like if somebody has a business background, if somebody is very good in HR, or somebody is very good in finance, they have good communication, they conduct meeting and they can do good documentation, technical writing, then they can fit into the business analyst role. Also, there is a functional consultant where they can just little advanced subject matter. They call the subject matter SME, subject matter expert. For example, if they know how the payroll processing work, how the benefit is set up in US, or how the tax is calculated, or if somebody is very good in accounting, GL, general ledger, or payable, then they can become functional consultant. So this doesn't need any technical skill. All they have to understand is business rules, business logic, and they have to do documentation, come up with the business requirement writing. Those kind of things is the part of this functional consultant and the business role, business analyst role. So these are the two areas somebody can look into. So technical consultant, this is like not only ERP and cloud jobs, it can be anything like Python, Java, if you're good at coding. So then you can get into any kind of programming like Python or Java or anything like any technology, you can get into the technical consultant. So again, you can do the certification or you can get into some users group. And you can also do some volunteering work. So how do you build the experience? Some startup companies may give the opportunity without pay. So give that option, give them a volunteering work, like you want to work in the technical area or you want to do some technical writing. So free of cost, give them some opportunity for 6 months. So after 6 months, it is possible that company itself will have some opportunity to hire as a full-time role or contract role. So that is the one opportunity you can explore. Then in IT ERP, mainly PeopleSoft, SAP, or e-business Oracle, there is an administrator role also. Not only those ERP, even in the cloud architect, there are some administrator role like a database administrator or infrastructure admin. Those kind of role, if somebody is good at maintaining the server and applying the patches, all those things, admin can do it. So that's the kind of technical role, but definitely if somebody is looking for career transition or long-term thing, they can look into this. And the project manager, product owner, product manager, those are the roles. So somebody who is a senior or like somebody who has a certification, like a Scrum certification, those things can explore the project manager. So these are some opportunity for job seekers, either career transition or getting into the new. So this is one area. Then non-IT, this is the interesting area. So last 5 years, same as Wasabi said, I'm tired of coding. Like 25 years, I did COBOL, Power Builder, PeopleSoft, and so many coding. So I want to get out of coding. At the same time, I want to build some passive income opportunity, part-time, second job. So in that case, I took the notary option. I took the notary certification from state of California. Just if somebody study 2-3 weeks, they can become notary. Then in San Ramon, I've done a lot of notaries last 4-5 years. This notary opened up a job opportunity for me to get into the life insurance. I got the life insurance certification. So during the COVID, or if there is any job layoff or anything, I'm not worried because I have additional job where notary and life insurance. Does it pay same as the IT job? Yes and no, depending on your bandwidth and how you position yourself. right? Like in the notary also, there are different areas: general notary, loan signing agent, mobile notary. There are different areas, so you can expand your services and you can do it. Similarly, life insurance certification, life, health, and there are different life insurance certification you can do. So for this, you don't need experience. You can build experience as you go. That's the advantage of this non-IT jobs. So our community, generally, we always look into IT jobs. So this slides, I'm specifically showing it. There are other opportunities also anyone can explore. But is it good for everyone? Notary, it may not be good for if you want to try mobile notary, if you want to travel around, if you're a housewife with a small kid, there may be some challenge. But you can open it up, doing it from your home. People may come to your place. So that is another option, right? Similarly, for life insurance, once you certify, you can do it from anywhere. You don't have to do the travel. You can do it remote. Same thing for even the recruiter or account management, right? Account management is like a kind of sales, or it could be like you will manage a set of people if you have a management skill. So these are the some of the IT related, but still non-IT job. So again, you can get into that easily, just trying it yourself, right? Similarly, real estate, this needs some sales skill. We can get into the different real estate area like buy and sell, or appraisal, or loan agent, or property management. So all this area, there is definitely you can make a 6-figure income without going through a lot of struggle. So a couple of years, maybe you have to build your brand and do this. And financial services, again, this is like you can do retirement planning for others, kids college planning, or you can also become licensed financial professional once you get that CFP. You can. So I hear that there is statistics, a lot of these financial planners are getting retired in the next few years, and there is a vacuum for financial services professional. So all these are some potential for job seekers. And if you need any help for any of this, like life insurance or notary, I have a lot of real estate friends. I can connect with them, and notary myself, I can guide you how to get into. So yeah, any questions in the chat or anything? I'm just sharing my contact. This is my phone number on the right side, or you can contact me through email. I set up this meeting also. I sent an email from this. You can contact me ggirajan@gmail.com. Any questions? What to do? All right. So I am opening up this session for any other questions or networking. We can use this session. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Prasad, can we stop the live stream? So